Chapter 141 Don't Get Involved with My People. In the Divine Phoenix Celestial Dynasty, in the main hall that was like a fairy palace in heaven, when everyone stood up and looked outside, a beast roar suddenly came from the sound. Roar. Immediately afterwards, a dazzling white light struck like lightning and fell in the hall. Bai Ziyi's majestic body, like the god of war coming into the world, roared angrily at Shang Tianyun and others. Roar. What? Ah! The terrifying aura came like an overwhelming force, and along with the deafening sound waves, it surged like a stormy sea, directly knocking several people away. Bang bang! Several people were like kites with broken strings, slamming into the stone pillars of the main hall that were carved with dragons and phoenixes. After getting up, they looked at Bai Ziyi with horror on their faces, as if they had seen a devil. This scene shocked all the old members of the Celestial Dynasty, even Feng Qingguo was dumbfounded. She vaguely remembered that Bai Ziyi's strength was not so terrifying. He had only been out for a long time, but he had undergone such earth-shaking changes. Shang Tianyun couldn't believe it. He was a powerful man who had reached the level of venerable, but now he couldn't even resist the sound wave of this beast. When he saw Feng Haoran on Bai Ziyi, he remembered what he had just said and instantly understood the other person's identity. Are you the one King Guyu likes? Yes, it's me. Feng Haoran sat steadily on Bai Ziyi, looking down at Shang Tianyun as if he were a king in the world. Seeing that he despised himself so much, the latter became furious. Boy, I don't care who you are from the clan, if you know what you are like, please leave King Guyu as soon as possible. Don't think that you have a powerful beast that can run rampant in chaos. I tell you, King Guyu is not something an ant like you can possess. Haha. You are right about this. Qingwu is not something a scum like you can covet. Feng Haoran chuckled, his tone full of disdain and ridicule. When Shang Tianyun heard this, his face turned blue with anger. He summoned a spear with cold light and shouted angrily. Zarp! You have a beast that can stand up to me, and you have the ability to fight me. Let's see if I don't eat you alive. Enough. Upon hearing that Shang Tianyun was about to duel with Feng Haoran, Feng Qingguo immediately shouted loudly. The sound was deafening, like a loud bell echoing in the hall. Immediately afterwards, she came from the sky and landed next to Feng Haoran, staring at Shang Tianyun with a frosty face. Who is this emperor with? When will it be your turn to dictate? Shang Tianyun, I hated you extremely much in my previous life, but I just don't want to embarrass the Holy Clan. All this is because of my father's contribution to chaos. Don't think that the Holy Clan can suppress this emperor. I have already died once. Humph. If you want me to surrender to people like you, let alone this and past lives, even if there is an afterlife, you are just delusional. Feng Qingguyu's words made Shang Tianyun feel as if he had been struck by lightning, and it was unbelievable. Although she had never had a good attitude toward him in her previous life, she had never been so decisive. He believed that the reason why Feng Qingguyu became like this was entirely because of Feng Haoran's appearance. It's you. Everything is because of you. Without you, how could King Guyu treat me like this? Boy, you are bound to die. Only if you die can I get King Guyu. Feng Haoran was stunned. Shouldn't this kind of dog-licking plot happen to Tianming? Tianming has gone through many hardships and returned with strength. Because the villain failed to take away his wife, he started a life and death battle with Tianming, and eventually even cost the lives of the entire ethnic group. But now, why did this plot happen to me? However, it seems that this feeling is quite good. He looked at Shang Tianyun, who was born of love and hatred, with a mocking smile on his face, and then flew down from Bai Ziyi. He came to Feng Qingguyu and kissed her on the face without any scruples in front of everyone. Bah! Ah! In the main hall, when everyone witnessed this scene, their minds fell into an ethereal state of confusion. Even the person involved, Feng Qingguyu, was at a loss by this sudden move. However, her heart was really sweet. Her cheeks instantly blushed like the sunset. This empress, who had always been noble and cool, actually showed shyness at this moment. At this time, Shang Tianyun was so stimulated by Feng Haoran's murderous and heartbreaking act that he completely fell into madness. How could he endure the fact that the empress he couldn't get was kissed by someone else in front of him? "A little BD, I have nothing to do with you." Whoosh! While everyone was still in shock, Shang Tianyun pounced on them with a spear. The powerful aura of Hongmeng Venerable Ninth Layer spurted out instantly. Seeing this, Jiani was about to make a move, but Feng Haoran raised his hand to stop him. Seeing him charging towards him, Feng Haoran waved his hand, and the Star Demon Halberd came out in response. The same halberd thrust out, and the two violent forces collided instantly like thunder and fire. Boom buzz! Although there was a big difference between Feng Haoran and Shang Tianyun, at this time, the latter was actually at a disadvantage under this attack. Immediately afterwards, Feng Haoran injected powerful divine power again, and the blood-black magic light on the magic halberd suddenly surged. Buzz boom! An overwhelming force shook the opponent away like a mountain crushing an egg. And Feng Haoran used this power to hold Feng King Guyu and soar into the sky like a rock spreading its wings, landing steadily next to the throne on the high platform in the main hall. With a smile on his face, he gently placed the dull Feng King Guyu on the throne and spoke to her softly. "Watch carefully how I, your husband, will abuse him." Before he finished speaking, Feng Haoran's figure disappeared like lightning. He held the magic halberd in his hand, like the god of war coming to the world, and rushed towards the holy sky cloud with great momentum. When Shang Tianyun saw this, his eyes were red, his face was distorted, and he roared in a hissing voice, "Ah! Feng Clan BD, I want you to die." In an instant, the true energy in his body surged crazily like turbulent waves, erupting with earth-shattering power, sweeping away everything around him. Immediately afterwards, he raised the spear in his hand high, and the shadow of the spear pressed towards Feng Haoran like a pillar of strength. The latter rose into the sky, whirled around and swung out a halberd. The brilliant light curtain was like stars falling from the starry sky. Buzz, SSSSSS. Ding ding. The attack hit the huge gun shadow and made a crisp sound. Suddenly, a cracking sound came. Crack, bang. The light curtain exploded like broken ice, easily defusing the blow. Feng Haoran took advantage of the victory and pursued the attack, swung his halberd up, and the dazzling magic light rushed straight towards Shang Tianyun like a terrifying magic dragon. Shang Tianyun, who lost his mind, never believed that Feng Haoran, a junior, could defeat him. He raised his gun and attacked, and the two were instantly entangled. Their speed is as fast as lightning, almost impossible to catch with the naked eye, and can only be perceived with spiritual thoughts. Ding 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 dang dang. The sound of the clashing of spears and halberds can be heard endlessly, and every blow contains the power of destroying the world. Feng Haoran's attacks turned into sharp demonic lights, bombarding him like a gust of wind and rain. Whoosh! Boom! The two powerful forces collided again and then separated. Shang Tianyun's heart was filled with horror, and he could not accept this fact. "I am a powerful person of Hongmeng Venerable Ninth Layer, but I can't even defeat someone who is a level lower than myself." At this time, he was panting like an ox and staring at the other party angrily. However, Feng Haoran seemed relaxed and at ease, which made Shang Tianyun even more unwilling. He forced himself to hold his body and let out an angry roar. "Come again!" Whoosh! The two men charged forward again, but Feng Haoran's power seemed to be inexhaustible, and his attacks became more and more fierce. It surged like a tidal wave, giving Shang Tianyun no chance to breathe. The people watching the battle below were all shocked by Feng Haoran's strength. They originally thought that Feng Haoran would lose this battle, but they didn't expect that he would gain the upper hand so easily. On the throne, Feng King Guyu's beautiful eyes were shining with splendor. She looked at Feng Haoran's figure, and her heart was filled with pride and love. As for Shang Tianyun, under Feng Haoran's fierce offensive, it gradually showed signs of defeat. Buzz! In an instant, Feng Haoran seized the opportunity and swept out the magic halberd. Hey! A crescent-shaped magic light swayed out and hit Shang Tianyun's abdomen firmly. Bang! It was immediately knocked away and fell to the ground in a panic. Buzz! Feng Haoran walked up to Shang Tianyun, pointed the magic halberd at his neck, and looked at him condescendingly, with a trace of disdain flashing in his eyes. Remember, Feng Qingguo is my woman, you can never get involved in her in this life. This is the first time and the last time. If you dare to come again, no matter what kind of saint you are, you will die. After saying that, Feng Haoran flew back to Feng Qingguo's spacious throne. The two sat side by side, as if there was no one around, and held her in his arms. Just when everyone's eyes were on the young couple, Shang Tianyun's eyes were filled with scarlet red, as if he had fallen into demon dao. The aura on his body was extremely chaotic, and his body slowly rose from the ground uncontrollably. Then, there was a spooky and shrill laughter. Ja. When everyone heard the sound and looked around, they were shocked when they saw Shang Tianyun's appearance. Ah! Chapter 142 The Source of Darkness, Dark Emperor. Ja. Ah! Shang Tianyun's sharp laughter that pierced the eardrums attracted everyone's attention. When they saw that Shang Tianyun was surrounded by demonic energy, they were all shocked. He's possessed. How is this possible? How could a powerful person from the ancient clan Venerable Realm become possessed by such a trivial matter? Is it because she couldn't accept that the Empress had a husband and was so humiliated by a junior, which caused her Taoist heart to collapse, and that's why she became a demon? They never imagined that the son of the dignified leader of the ancient clan would be so fragile that he would become possessed by a woman. Even the few scoundrels who came with Shang Tianyun were in disbelief. This Yun Zun, is he possessed by a demon? Little boy, you are finished, the saints will not let you go. Boy, don't think that just because you are a member of the clan, you can be unscrupulous. Let me tell you, Yun Zun is the future heir of the Saint clan. Now that you have made him become a demon, the Saint clan will definitely fight you to death. Haha. It's ridiculous. With such a state of mind, you still want to become the future heir of the Holy Clan? If the Holy Clan is really handed over to him, what future will there be? In my opinion, not only will the Holy Clan not blame me, but they should thank me. Feng Haoran sneered at the words of the losers around Shang Tianyun and couldn't help laughing loudly. GG, boy, I really want to thank you. If your actions hadn't broken his heart, I wouldn't have seen the light of day so soon. To express my gratitude to you, I grant you destruction. At this time, a creepy voice came from Shang Tianyun's mouth, and everyone suddenly felt something bad. Normally, a Taoist cultivator would fall into a frantic killing state after becoming a demon, but at this time, Shang Tianyun could still maintain his sanity. Not only that, it can be heard from his words just now that Shang Tianyun seems to have become another person at this moment. What on earth is going on? From his tone, could it be that Shang Tianyun has been taken away? Feng Haoran, who was sitting on the throne, had a serious look on his face and looked at him up and down intently. Just when he was about to stand up, he was held tightly by Feng Qingguo. Haoran, something is wrong with him. His aura is many times stronger than before. It's okay, I want to see who he is. Before Feng Qingguo finished speaking, Feng Haoran patted her hand, indicating that she didn't have to worry, and then turned to Shang Tianyun, who was enveloped in demonic energy. It seems that you have been lurking in his body for a long time? Tell me, who are you? GG, well, since you, a little ant, have such a small request before you die, I will satisfy you. Listen, I am the source of Hungmen's endless darkness, but they prefer to call me, the Dark Emperor. Dark Emperor, could it be him? Tian Kui, who had been suspended in the void, was shocked when he heard the name of the person who took away the body of Saint Tianyun. Memories from ancient times can't help but appear in my mind. The strength of this dark nether emperor made all the creatures in Hongmeng feel frightened when they heard about it. However, it is rumored that he has been killed by the controllers, so why does he appear in the chaos? But when he thought of this man's terrifying strength, he instantly came to Feng Haoren and said with a serious face, "Young master, run away quickly. This man is very powerful. Even the master of Hongmeng cannot completely eliminate him. In ancient times, 9 controllers had to work together to kill him, but now he is back from the dead. GG. I never thought that in such a humble place, there would be people who know me. Hey. It's interesting. No wonder you can recognize me. It turns out that you are also a creature of Hongmeng. It's a pity that you are too weak." After hearing Tian Kui's words, An Yu Huang couldn't help but look at him carefully, and then realized that he was also a Hongmeng creature. Immediately afterwards, the creepy sound sounded again. "Haha. Want to leave? No way. Because all the creatures here will become the nutrients for my emperor's recovery." Whoosh! Before Dark Emperor finished speaking, his figure flashed past, and his target was Tian Kui. Just because of his superior strength, as long as he devours Tian Kui, he can recover most of himself. Seeing that the situation was not good, Tian Kui shouted loudly, "Young master, go find the master quickly. He is the only one in the whole chaos who can compete with this person." After finishing speaking, Tian Kui and Jimmy rushed forward together. Quack! However, just when Feng Haoren pulled Feng King Guyu and was about to leave, a cold shout came, followed by several crashing sounds. Boom bang! Feng Haoren turned around and looked around, and was surprised to find that the figures of Tian Kui and Jimmy who had just rushed up flew out and finally fell to the ground. Even the soulless Nirvana dark puppet fainted. How did this person do it? In Feng Haoren's heart, Tian Kui was very powerful, but he was so vulnerable in front of this person. Tian Kui. Feng Haoren watched Tian Kui crash into several thick stone pillars, and couldn't help but try to shout loudly. But then, an even more horrifying scene happened. Buzz! I saw that the cultivation and divine power of everyone present were rapidly dissipating. And the direction of dissipation is exactly within the body of Dark Emperor. GG! The power that I have lost for a long time, now, is finally coming back. The Dark Emperor was suspended in the void, holding the sky with both hands, and a huge suction force emitted from his body, swallowing up everyone's cultivation and divine power. Woo! The colorful divine light spurted out from everyone's bodies like a flood that broke a dam, and was swallowed up and eaten by their whales in a steady stream. Whoosh! Everyone was extremely frightened and wanted to break free from the confinement of this terrible suction, but they were helpless and could only roar in despair. Ah! No! Don't! I don't want to die yet! Yunzun, please let me go! Empress, save me! Even Feng Haoren and Feng King Guyu, who are on the throne, are not immune. The former made a prompt decision and waved his hand. Buzz! The demon diagram of Taigzahua came out in response, and then an unbreakable layer of isolation defense tightly enveloped him and Feng King Guyu. Only then did they avoid being devoured by their cultivation and divine power. Haoren, save them! Seeing her old subordinate's cultivation gradually disappearing and pleading non-stop, Feng King Guyu begged Feng Haoren sadly. However, at this time, Feng Haoren's cultivation was all used to support the Hongmeng innate treasure, and he was already more than capable. At this moment, his face was as pale as paper, and he was struggling to hold on. Just when he wanted to respond to Feng King Guyu, the creepy voice of An Yu Huang came. GG, save them? You can't even save yourself. Drink! The Dark Emperor roared angrily, and his devouring power instantly increased. Buzz SSSSSS. Ah Empress! Lord Dark Emperor, please show me your noble hand and let me go. I am willing to swear allegiance to you to the death. Bang bang. Their begging for mercy did not make the Dark Emperor have any intention of giving up. Instead, they became even more ferocious and brutal. In the end, with loud explosions, everyone was completely wiped out. No. Feng Qingyu watched helplessly as her old subordinates disappeared one by one, and she couldn't help but roared heartbreakingly, and endless pain surged in her heart. Regret kept flooding into her heart, and she began to wonder if she had done something wrong. If the Celestial Empire is not re-established, can they still live well? Now, they are dead and gone, all because he summoned them here. The endless self-blame made her collapse to the ground. However, when she thought of the culprit, she stood up with a sinister look on her face, eyes wide open, and stared at the Dark Emperor. It's all because of you, I want to kill you. Just when she was about to step out of the isolation defense, she was suddenly bounced back by the defensive light. Ching! Qingyu, don't be impulsive, you are no match for him. Hey, in this kind of space, there is actually a Hongmeng innate treasure? It seems that you are a bit interesting. Yu Huang's ugly and ferocious face gave out a cold smile, and then, he stretched out his finger and tapped lightly, and the void suddenly shattered like a mirror. Boo! Buzz boom! An extremely terrifying power surged in like a stormy sea, and the light shield released by the Taixuan demon diagram instantly collapsed. Feng Haoran and Feng Qingyu let out a scream and flew upside down like a kite with a broken string. Pfft! Feng Qingyu fell heavily to the ground, opened her mouth and spurted out a mouthful of blood, staining her chest red. Feng Haoran got up from the ground with difficulty and staggered to her side. Qingyu, are you okay? Haoran, please leave quickly, don't worry about me. Feng Qingyu's face was as pale as paper, her breath was weak, and she was weakly trying to dissuade Feng Haoran. The fact that you were able to survive this shocking blow from me and still have a breath of air shows that you, this kid, have many secrets hidden in you. Boy, I am becoming more and more interested in you now. I believe that if I devour you, I will gain a lot. Yu Huang licked his lips greedily, his eyes locked on Feng Haoran like a hungry wolf. The Dark Emperor walked slowly from the void like a ghost. Feng Haoran hugged Feng Qingyu and backed away step by step. Suddenly, the Dark Emperor raised his arm, flexing and extending his fingers like eagle claws, and a powerful suction force swept in like a storm. Woo! Ah! Haoran! Feng Haoran's body seemed to be tightly grasped by an invisible big hand, and he flew towards Yu Huang involuntarily. Feng Qingyu used her last bit of strength to hold his arm. Humph! Boom! Emperor Enyu snorted coldly, like thunder exploding, and Feng Qingyu's body flew backwards like a broken leaf. Bang! Light dance! This time, Feng Qingyu fell heavily to the ground and fainted like a sleeping flower. After Feng Haoran screamed, his body fell into the clutches of the Dark Emperor like a lamb. Boy, what is it that allows you to have such strength at such an age? That's all, I don't want to think about it anymore. After I devour you, everything will become clear. Let him go. Suddenly, a gloomy voice sounded. If you're enjoying this content, please make sure to like and subscribe Chinese Novel Audiowave. Chapter 143, The Fall of Tiankui, The Terrifying Shadow. Let him go. Just when the Dark Emperor tried to devour Feng Haoran, Tiankui, who had fainted, woke up wrapped in a thick demonic energy as if possessed by a demon. At this time, his eyes were scarlet, like a blood moon in the sky, staring at the Dark Emperor, and the terrifying demonic energy emanating from his body swept through the entire space like a furious wave. Rumble! The space seemed to be overwhelmed. As he approached the Dark Emperor step by step, he let out bursts of overwhelmed screams, and the space was also shattered layer by layer. Rumble, click. Not bad, you can actually break free from the dark imprisonment of this emperor, you are indeed quite capable. Hey? Are you planning to unlock your cultivation? However, even so, you are still vulnerable to me. Hey! Bang! With a flick of his hand, Dark Emperor threw Feng Haoran out like a rag doll. The powerful force directly shocked Feng Haoran to death. The aura on the former's body suddenly soared at this moment. Drink! Then let me devour you first, and then slowly enjoy the creatures in this space. It's really exciting. With so many creatures, I can restore half of my strength. After speaking, he swayed and rushed towards Tiankui as if teleporting. At the same time, he waved a palm and blasted towards Tiankui like a mountain crushing an egg with endless destructive power. The latter saw this and shouted angrily. Aha! Buzz! Whoosh! Suddenly, a jet-black light, like the divine thunder of the nine heavens, fell from the sky and shone accurately on Tiankui. Seeing the Dark Emperor charging towards him like a demon, Tiankui showed no sign of weakness and used all his strength to mobilize the demonic energy around him, and also waved a palm. Buzz! With this blow, the sky became dark, the sun and the moon became dark, the space collapsed, and the destructive residual power surged like a nuclear bomb explosion, turning everything it passed into nothingness. Such a shocking power instantly attracted the attention of the remaining living beings in the entire void world. That direction is Shenhuang continent. Isn't the Empress about to establish a dynasty? Why does such a terrifying power appear? What kind of power is this? Is it so terrifying? Oh my god! What on earth is this? Is it the strange demon attacking again? 6 Ancient Clan. In an ancient palace of the Ji clan, an old man stared into the void, frowning. Demon energy? Not good, something big happened. Before he finished speaking, the figure disappeared instantly. This scene also appeared in other ancient clan, and the 6 heavenly venerables disappeared almost at the same time. As for Feng clan's Tianhao Palace, Feng Qunju, who was teaching Zhang Yongzi how to practice, immediately felt the aura coming from Tiankui. An ominous premonition came to his mind, and he knew that Tiankui would never be able to completely unlock the cultivation seal unless it came to a critical moment of life and death. And since Tiankui was by his son's side, he unlocked the cultivation seal, so his son must have been in danger. He looked at his wife who was sitting cross-legged, and with a wave of his hand, a powerful defense enveloped her tightly. Tear turn around and tear open the space, getting into it like lightning. The divine Phoenix continent, which was originally full of vigorous vitality, and the glorious and magnificent Tiangong temple before, have now disappeared. Even space, under their shocking blow, had completely collapsed and now turned into chaos. And all the living creatures in Shenhuang continent were also wiped out by this devastating blow. Feng Haoran and Feng Qingyu, who had long been unconscious, were protected by Tiankui with all his strength in the chaos behind them, drifting with the tide like 2 fallen leaves. As for himself, half of his body had disappeared at this time, and 1 hand and 1 foot stood in the chaos like a rotten tree. Blood was constantly flowing from the corner of his mouth, and his eyes were empty. He had no breath of life. He was already trapped in darkness, but in order to protect Feng Haoran Zhouchuan, he forcefully broke through the darkness of Dark Emperor. With his body seriously injured, he did not hesitate to burn his soul, break the seal, and release the strongest blow, just to attract his master. He knew that he would definitely die after this blow, but he still had no hesitation, just to keep Feng Haoran safe. Even at the moment before death, he still pulled Feng Haoran and Feng Qingyu back behind him to protect them. Only then did the scene in front of him happen. GG. I would like to see what kind of ant it is that can make a strong man like you risk his life. Dark Emperor's whole body was shrouded in the power of darkness, and he walked to Tiankui, who had only half of his body left. He raised his hand and lightly touched Tiankui's body. In an instant, Tiankui's body disappeared like smoke. An Yuhuang turned his eyes to the 2 people lying in the chaos, and stayed on Feng Haoran. Next, it's time to reveal the mystery." After saying this, he stretched out his hand and turned it into a claw, and a terrifying devouring power spurted out from his palm, attacking Feng Haoran like a wolf pounced on its prey. Just when the devouring power was about to touch Feng Haoran's body, a mysterious divine light burst out from his body. Buzz! The divine light is like a sharp arrow, directly deflecting the devouring power. When Emperor Enyu saw this, his eyes widened with disbelief on his face. How is this possible? Just when he was shocked, a cold and bone-chilling voice came from Feng Haoran's body. How can a reptile in the dark have the right to touch his master? Buzz! Immediately afterwards, a figure as black as ink suddenly emerged from Feng Haoran's body. This figure has no power fluctuation at all. However, his appearance is like the source of 10,000 ways, as if he controls everything in the world. The moment the dark figure appeared, the Dark Emperor was terrified and kept retreating, as if he had seen the most terrifying existence in the world. You know, back then, he had no fear even when faced with the cooperation of 9 controllers. But now, this black shadow actually frightened him into such a panic. It's you, how can you be in his body and still recognize him as your master? Who is this son? How can an ant like you know the identity of the master? Since you dare to hurt him, then there is no need for you to exist. The cold voice of the black shadow was like the judgment of the 9 nether hells, making the Dark Emperor kneel down in fear. Sir, please spare my life. I am willing to serve you as my master. Acknowledge me as your master? You are not qualified yet. After the black shadow finished speaking, he slowly stretched out his hand. Suddenly, an irresistible force spurted out from his hand like a torrent. Hey! In an instant, Enyu Huang was tightly trapped. The frightened Emperor Enyu kept begging for mercy. Sir, please spare my life, please let me go. Stop being pretentious, I know this is not who you are. Your fall only made his injuries worse. In order for the master to have enough time to grow, the real source of darkness cannot appear prematurely. So, suffer death. After the black shadow finished speaking, he gently clenched his palms. Ah boom! Screams and explosions sounded at the same time, and the newly awakened source of darkness, the Dark Emperor, was wiped out in ashes before he had survived 2 episodes. At the moment he fell, in the endless darkness of Hongmeng, a pair of ferocious eyes suddenly opened. Buzz! Who dares to kill my emperor's clone? Let my emperor's hundreds of billions of years of recovery go to waste. Don't let me find you, otherwise, you will fall into the abyss of endless darkness forever. Chapter 144 Rescue Tiankui in the Long River. In the chaos, the black shadow is annihilating the Queen of Darkness, and her hands are pinching the ancient and mysterious magic formula as fast as a phantom. Buzz! In an instant, a door was opened in the chaos. The terrifying power of death and the power of time were exuding from the door. The two were intertwined with each other, rushing like a crazy torrent. Whoosh! The black shadow suddenly opened his eyes and stared at the colorful long river like a time tunnel. Among them, countless phantoms struggled hard in the long river, but they were still unable to break free from the shackles of the long river, and countless unwilling voices came like tears. Let me out! I don't deserve to die! Despicable beast! However, the black shadow turned a deaf ear to these sounds. His eyes were as sharp as a hawk, searching carefully for something in the long river. Suddenly, his eyes were fixed on the soul like Tian Kui. At this time, the soul body Tian Kui is trying his best to jump out of the river of time, but his strength is difficult to resist this powerful force. At this moment, a giant hand appeared like a god descending from the world and picked it up with lightning speed. Rumble! In an instant, the entire river of time began to vibrate violently, and the huge power of time continued to impact the giant hand like turbulent waves, trying to stop this move. And the changes in the long river of time caused the 9 controllers deep in Hongmeng to open their eyes at the same time. Buzz. Who is it? How dare you open the river of time? Hey? This power is. It turned out to be that person. Didn't he disappear a long time ago? Who is worthy of him acting like this? He even appeared. It seems that Hongmeng will not be peaceful. In the chaos, the shadow's behavior is like sailing against the current, being squeezed by the long river of time. However, his power is like Mount Tai and Baidu, and it cannot be stopped by the passage of time. Go away! With a roar, like thunder, the force that tried to stop him instantly collapsed like a chicken or a dog. The giant hand picked up Tiankui like a bag, and then disappeared into the long river of time. Buzz. After the giant hand carried Tiankui out, the door in the chaos was closed like an old monk entering trance. Tiankui looked at this familiar place and knew in his heart that he was saved by great power. But at this moment, no matter how hoarse he was, it still felt like there was a lump in his throat and he couldn't make a sound. He stared at the dark figure he had never seen before, his eyes filled with gratitude, and bowed deeply. The black shadow glanced at him, and his voice was as cold as ice, and he said without emotion. In order to protect the master, you looked down upon death, and you really shouldn't have died like this. I will give you a chance to be reborn. Later, I will use the heaven-defying divine ability to upgrade your strength and body to the Hongmeng demon ancestor realm. After the master goes to Hongmeng, I won't be able to show up as easily as now. Otherwise, endless sources of darkness and taboos will emerge like wild beasts. By then, Hongmeng will be destroyed. Therefore, you will still need to protect your master's growth in the future. Remember, I would rather be shattered into pieces than my existence be revealed. Buzz. Before the black shadow finished speaking, he waved his hand, mobilizing the power of countless Hongmeng like turning clouds and rain, breaking through the sky and reaching the chaos. The dazzling power of Hongmeng, like dots of stars, continuously gathers in Tiankui's spiritual body. Buzz. After a few breaths, the power of Hongmeng tightly wrapped Tiankui, forming a colorful cocoon. The terrifying power poured into his body like a tide, and the originally illusory figure gradually became real. Tiankui's strength soared like a rocket, and his strength gradually weakened until he reached the Hongmeng demon ancestor realm. Tiankui in the cocoon felt this powerful force and felt infinite emotions in his heart. Yes, Senior said that his existence must not be exposed, otherwise, Hongmeng will be destroyed. Moreover, he also asked me to protect the young master's growth. Thinking about it, the young master's identity must be extraordinary. Tiankui came to Feng Haoren, and just when he was about to help the two of them up, the chaotic space was suddenly torn apart. Tear. Buzz. A figure walked out of it. This person was Feng Qianzhu. Tiankui, what happened? When he saw his son unconscious, the anger in Feng Qianzhu's heart burst out instantly. He took a step forward and came to Feng Haoren's side. Who is so bold as to hurt the emperor's son? Master, it's... Just when Tiankui was about to answer, another sound came from the chaos. Buzz. What happened? The first one to appear was Feng Wuodao, followed immediately by the giants from the Ji clan ancestors, Zhang clan ancestors, Shura clan, Saint clan, and Dark Knight clan. Even Lu Chengfeng came. Several giants in the chaos had gathered together. They felt a terrifying dark atmosphere permeating the chaos, and they all turned their attention to Tiankui and Feng Qianzhu. After Feng Wuodao saw Feng Haoren unconscious, he immediately came to Feng Qianzhu and asked anxiously. What happened to the little guy? Who hurt him? It is the source of darkness. He took away Shang Tianyun, the son of the leader of the Holy Clan, and turned the Shenhuang continent and the surrounding billions of hectares into chaos, and countless creatures were brutally killed. Fortunately, a strong man came to help, otherwise, the young master and I might not have been able to escape our misfortune. Tiankui told the whole story half truthfully and half falsely. When Lu Chengfeng heard that it was the source of darkness, his heart trembled violently. Hearing that a strong man had taken action, he couldn't help but let out a long breath. It's actually him. Lord, do you know the true identity of this source of darkness? The ancestors of the Holy Clan were surprised when they learned that their younger generation had been taken away from their bodies, and couldn't help but want to know more about the situation. You know too much about this matter, which is disadvantageous. His strength is very powerful and peerless. It is lucky that chaos can be saved now. Okay, you 6 tribes should return as soon as possible and arrange some people to guard this place to prevent others from entering this place by mistake and causing death. Yes, Lord. Seeing the shock on Liu Jinfeng's face, several people knew that this matter was definitely not a trivial matter. Since he refused to say more, they didn't want to ask more questions. After bowing to him, they turned and left. Feng Yudao looked at the unconscious Feng Haoran, with a gloomy expression on his face. Feng Qianzhou glanced at him secretly and then spoke. Ancestor, please return to your clan first. I will take Haoran back later. Hearing this, Feng Yudao regained his gloomy look and nodded slightly. Okay, then I'll go back first. After everyone left, in the chaos, only Feng Qianzhou, Tian Kui and Liu Chengfeng were left, and of course, the 2 fainted people. Tell me, what exactly happened? Feng Qianzhou knew that Tian Kui had not finished speaking, but when the latter saw Liu Chengfeng here, he seemed to have something to hide. Liu Chengfeng was also very sensible at this time and bowed to Feng Qianzhou. Lord Demon Emperor, that villain will take his leave first. After seeing him nod, Liu Chengfeng's figure disappeared into the chaos like light smoke. Master, what I said before is true. In fact, when I broke the seal and fought with him, he already died. What? Tian Kui reported the truth truthfully after Liu Chengfeng left. When he heard the news of his death, Feng Qianzhou was shocked. Feeling the intense gaze of his master, Tian Kui continued speaking quickly. The Dark Emperor's strength is unfathomable and terrifying. Even if he has just recovered, his subordinates cannot compete with him. With just one blow from him, my soul was wiped out, and now I am still alive. It was all thanks to the help of a powerful person named Divine Ability who rescued me from the river. No wonder when I arrived, I found that the entire chaotic time was messed up. It turns out that they were all imprisoned by him. It seems that this person's strength has reached that level. After hearing Tian Kui's words, the doubts in Feng Qianzhou's heart disappeared instantly. He remembered that when he arrived, Tian Kui had just released his power, but after arriving, everything returned to calm. Just when Feng Qianzhou was deep in thought, Tian Kui's voice sounded again. Master, that strong man not only saved his subordinate's life, but also raised his subordinate's cultivation level to the realm of the Hongmeng demon ancestor. When Feng Qianzhou heard this, he didn't show too much surprise and just said lightly. I noticed when I first arrived that he helped you improve your cultivation without damaging your foundation. This person's methods are really amazing. Master, Okay, if there is something unspeakable, there is no need to say it. I know your loyalty. Feng Qianzhou seemed to have an insight into Tian Kui's thoughts. Those beings who rescued him and helped him improve his cultivation must have some instructions. And when Tian Kui saw that his master believed in him so much without even the slightest suspicion, his heart was filled with gratitude. Thank you, Master. Feng Qianzhou turned her back to him, looking into the chaotic void, with the corners of her mouth raised slightly. The darkness has begun to stir, and I must speed up my pace. After returning to the feudal clan, you ask Liu Chengfeng to open the Chaos Cemetery as soon as possible. It's time for Haoran to go to Hongmeng to experience. Chapter 145 Saint Xiaoan becomes suspicious and fuses the Taiyin body. In the chaos, time passed, and several days had passed since the Dark Emperor incident. That earth-shattering change shocked all the creatures in chaos. They never expected that such a terrifying and powerful person existed in chaos. If there is no powerful action, I am afraid that the entire chaos will be annihilated in this battle. The person who caused this incident was none other than Saint Yunzun. As one of the 6 ancient clan, he was not even aware that the source of darkness entered his body. Many creatures were indignant about this, but due to the power of the Saint clan, they could only dare to be angry and dare not speak out. Although the Saint clan lost the patriarch's son, the clan members did not know why Shang Tianyun's heart was broken, which gave the source of darkness an opportunity to take advantage of. After all, everyone who knew the truth had died in the shattering void. But as his father, Saint Shan, his son's death made him depressed. Because he knows his son better than anyone else. Apart from having a soft spot for the Empress of the Divine Phoenix Celestial Dynasty, he spends most of his time cultivating. How could his Dao heart be broken for no reason, allowing the source of darkness to take advantage of him? At this moment, in a temple of the Saint clan, Saint Xiaoen was wearing a purple divine robe, with a sad face, leaning on the throne of the patriarch. Buzz! Suddenly, a black shadow flashed in the void of the hall. The visitor was dressed in black robes, with his face covered, only revealing a pair of sharp eyes. Master, we found it. The arrival of the man in black and his words were like thunder, causing Saint Xiaoen to straighten his body instantly. His face became gloomy, and he squeezed out a word through his teeth. Explain. Not long ago, the young master learned that the Empress of the Divine Phoenix Celestial Dynasty had been reincarnated and returned to rebuild her kingdom. Hearing that she had brought back a husband and wanted to re-establish the Celestial Dynasty, she went to the Divine Phoenix continent alone. Moreover, the husband recognized by the Empress as Feng Zhantian's grandson, named Feng Haoran. A descendant of Feng Zhantian, so, the Feng Qianzhu who caused a lot of trouble more than 30 years ago is this son's father. Good. After being reported by the man in black, Saint Xiaoen recalled what happened to Feng Qianzhu more than 30 years ago. He frowned and remained silent for a moment before continuing. Tianyun's death must be closely related to Feng Haoran and the Empress of the Divine Phoenix Celestial Dynasty. You investigate in secret. If this is true, I will seek an explanation from the Feng clan. Even if a battle between the ancient clan is triggered, Tianyun cannot die in an unknown manner. Yes. After accepting the order, the man in black disappeared without a trace in an instant. Sealed Divine Domain, Tianhao Palace, Shaohao Palace. At this time, both Feng Haoran and Feng Qingyu had woken up from coma, and their injuries were almost healed. Feng Qingyu was wearing a gauze dress with exposed shoulders and red sleeves, standing in the observation deck of Shaohao Palace. Her figure was as beautiful and refined as the divine maiden in the 9 heavens under the afterglow of the setting sun. Her cold eyes stared into the void, with many thoughts on her mind. After all, she spent more than 30 years making careful preparations, and saw that the Celestial Empire was about to be re-established, but unexpectedly, the Divine Phoenix continent turned into chaos. The death of countless creatures and the annihilation of her old army made her blame herself and be heartbroken. I thought that when I returned from rebirth, I would not only find a suitable husband, but also push the dynasty to new glory. But now, she is the only one left in the huge Divine Phoenix dynasty. Ta-ta! There was a sound of footsteps. Feng Qingyu didn't turn around, but she already knew who it was. Feng Haoran walked up to her, held her tightly in his arms with a distressed look on his face, and spoke softly. Are you still sad about that incident? It's not your fault. If you want to hold me accountable, it's my fault. If I hadn't angered Shang Tianyun, his Taoist heart wouldn't have been unable to bear it, causing the source of darkness to appear. No. You started fighting with Shang Tianyun because of me, and the subordinates of the Celestial Dynasty. In fact, all this could have been avoided. If I had not insisted on rebuilding the Celestial Empire, they might still be able to survive peacefully in the chaos. All because of my willful actions, hundreds of millions of living beings were destroyed. Seeing Feng Qingyu blaming herself so much, Feng Haoran felt heartbroken. He could not help but hug her tightly into his arms and let out a long sigh. Hey, the deceased is gone. We are lucky to have survived this disaster. I heard from my father that the real Emperor of Darkness is not dead yet, and it was only his clone that attacked us. Therefore, all we living people can do is to avenge them. Hey? By the way, speaking of this, I have something to give you, and I originally planned to give it to you on the day of your rebirth. Feng Haoren's words stopped abruptly, and Feng Qingyu naturally knew what he wanted to say. In order not to worry Feng Haoren, there was nothing strange on her face. However, she believed in her heart that what Feng Haoren said was true. Since she was still alive, she must avenge those old subordinates who died. When she heard that Feng Haoren wanted to give her a gift, she stood up from his arms and stared at him. What is the gift you speak of? Come, you sit cross-legged, meditate and concentrate, and use the magic formula, and leave the rest to me. Feng Qingyu did as she was told without hesitation. Buzz. Watching her start to run the magic formula, Feng Haoren immediately communicated with the system. The system blocks the anomalies in the chaotic space and injects innate Hongmeng purple qi and Hongmeng Taiyin body into Qingyu's body at the same time. Then he took out a drop of void spiritual milk to wash her body and solidify her foundation. Ding! Okay master, leave the rest to me. After the system responded, 2 dazzling Hongmeng divine lights flew out of Feng Haoren's body and sank into Feng Qingyu's body like meteors. Buzz boom! In an instant, Feng Qingyu's whole body was enveloped in purple light, and a powerful aura spurted out from her body. Whoosh! The surrounding spiritual energy gathered towards her crazily, forming a huge vortex. Such a huge movement was blocked by the system in the chaos. But Feng Qinju, who was in Tianhao Palace, frowned slightly and suddenly sensed a strong physical aura. Hey? This is innate Hongmeng purple energy and the breath of Taiyin body. The spiritual thoughts spread out overwhelmingly, and when he found the aura emanating from Feng Qingyu in Tianhao Palace, he was instantly shocked. Where did this brat come from with so many heaven-defying things? I heard from Tiankui that he also had Hongmeng void spiritual milk on his body. And now, not to mention innate's purple energy, even Hongmeng Taiyin's body can be given away? It seems that this emperor's son is not as simple as showing the forbidden celestial body on the surface. Forget it, he is defying heaven anyway, he is also the son of this emperor, and he cannot change this fact in this life. After saying that, he pretended that nothing happened and went about his own business. What he has to do now is to help Zhang Yongzi improve his cultivation without damaging his foundation. Thank you for watching. Continue exploring the fascinating world of Chinese novels with us. Hit that subscribe button on Chinese Novel Audiowave to stay updated with our latest stories. And never miss out on a great listen.